It was in these days that Abram's heart began to long for something deeper. As he watched the stars move in the night sky and the sun rise each morning, he wondered who had created them. Though he was just a child, the Lord gave him an understanding heart. His heart sought the true God, the one who had spoken the world into existence. In his youthful innocence, Abram yearned for a teacher who could guide him to the source of his wonder. One night, Abram had a vivid dream. He saw a tall mountain on which stood an ancient man, shining in robes as white as snow. Beside him stood another elder, his face kind and wise, and they called to Abram with love and warmth. He awoke with a sense of certainty. The men in his dream were Noah and his son Shem, who had survived the great flood and served the Lord with all their might. Abram resolved that he would find these men, for he felt they held the answers he sought. Abraham had heard stories from his mother, Amithlai, about the man named Noah, how he had survived the great flood, and his son Shem, who also knew many mysteries about the one true God. They lived far away, but Abraham felt a strong calling to find them. Deep in his heart, he believed that they would have answers to the questions that kept him up at night. As he began his journey, he felt excitement bubbling up inside him. This wasn't just any trip. It was a journey to meet men who had spoken to God himself. Abraham was curious, hopeful, and, if he was honest, a little nervous. What would they be like? What would they tell him? The journey wasn't easy. He traveled through deserts and across rivers, through forests and over rocky hills. At times he felt exhausted, but he kept going. Every time he looked up at the stars, he remembered the stories his mother had told him and the faith she had in his purpose. That gave him the strength to keep walking, step after step, day after day. After many days, Abram finally reached the mountain of his dreams, where Noah and Shem lived. His heart trembled as he approached the doorway of the humble abode, worn but filled with a radiance that felt like home. When Abram entered, he beheld the same elders he had seen in his dream. Noah, now over 600 years old, and Shem, though younger, still carried the wisdom of a man who had seen generations come and go. Noah looked upon Abram, recognizing him immediately, for the Spirit of the Lord had already told him of the young seeker's arrival. With a gentle smile, he welcomed Abram, saying, "Blessed are you, child, for the Lord has drawn you here." Abram remained with Noah and Shem for 39 years, growing in wisdom, faith, and understanding. Noah and Shem taught Abram the history of creation, the events of the great flood, and the covenant the Lord had made with humanity. Abram learned the importance of righteousness, justice, and obedience to the true God. For the first few days, Abraham was quiet, listening and learning. Noah told him about the flood, about how God had spoken to him and given him instructions to build the ark. He spoke of the great storm and the animals that had come two by two, filling the ark with life. Abraham listened with wide eyes, his heart pounding with amazement. He could feel the presence of God in Noah's words. Shem also taught him many things. He explained the importance of faith, of listening to God's voice even when it seems strange or difficult. Shem showed Abraham how to pray and meditate, to open his heart so he could hear God's guidance. Every night, Abraham would sit by the fire, his mind buzzing with new ideas, his heart full of a deep, peaceful joy. One evening, Noah took Abraham aside and placed his hand on his shoulder. "You have a special purpose, Abraham," he said, his voice soft but full of power. "God has great plans for you. You will be a father of nations, and through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed." Abraham's heart swelled with emotion. He didn't understand exactly what it meant, but he felt a warmth deep inside him, like a spark had been lit. He knew he was part of something much bigger than himself. In the following days, Abraham asked many questions. He wanted to know more about God, about faith, and about the stars that filled the night sky. Noah and Shem were patient, answering every question, guiding him gently. They taught him about the importance of kindness, justice, and faithfulness. Abraham felt as though his heart and mind were expanding, like he was growing into a new person. When it was time to leave, Abraham felt both sad and excited. He didn't want to say goodbye, but he also knew he was ready. He hugged Noah and Shem tightly, feeling grateful for every moment he had spent with them. They blessed him, praying that God would guide him and protect him on his journey. As he walked away, Abraham felt the teachings of Noah and Shem stay with him like a warm light in his heart. He knew he had a purpose, a mission to share the truth of one true God with others. With each step, he felt a growing confidence. He was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that God was with him. And so, Abraham's journey to meet Noah and Shem became the beginning of a new chapter in his life, a chapter filled with faith, purpose, and the promise of a future blessed by God. Abram set out, ready to fulfill his destiny and become the father of a great nation. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I love sharing it with you. If you did, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Also, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting, historic Bible stories with hidden details revealed. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see you in our next adventure.